Rectangular prism. Another name for the rectangular prism is a cuboid. Rectangular prism is an example of a 3D shape. 3D shape simply means 3 dimensions. A 3D shape is any solid figure with 3 dimensions. That is the length, the height, and the width, right? So the shape below is an example of a rectangular prism. So this is a rectangular prism, right? So this rectangular prism is having the length, the width, and the height. Okay, so because of these 3-dimensional figures, we're saying that this is a 3-dimensional shape, right? Now, given the rectangular prism, we want to look at some properties of it. We want to first look at the faces of this rectangular prism, and we could see that the faces of this rectangular prism are what? 6. Any rectangular prism or any cuboid, given any cuboid, the number of faces are 6. How do we get these 6 faces? Look at here. See this shape, right? We have a similar one on top of it, right? So we have 1 and 2 similar shapes, right? So this is one of the faces, 1, 2, right? Then again, we have another one. Look at this shape. We have a similar one here. No, this and that, they're also similar, right? So we also have 2 similar shapes here. So that is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then another one, we have, look at this shape, and also this shape. They are also similar, right? So the faces are 6. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it is having 6 faces. Now let us look at the vertices. So the vertices, another name for the vertices is what? The corners. How many corners does the rectangular prism have? It is having 8 vertices, right? 8 vertices. So how do we determine these 8 vertices? Let us try to check from the diagram that we have. Counting the corners, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the rectangular prism is having what? 8 vertices, right? Now the last thing we want to talk about is what? The edges. The edges are the line segments that form the shape, right? So we're going to count the lines. We're saying that a rectangular prism is having 12 edges. Okay, now let us count these edges. Or probably let me draw a quick one here, a quick rectangular prism for us to use it to count the edges. Okay, it's a very quick one. Yeah, so for us to see the line segment that form this rectangular prism, I want us to label them as we do the counting, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Then this line 7, this line 8, this line 9, this line, okay, the one here 10, this one 11, and this line 12, right? So a rectangular prism is having 12 edges. Having talked about some of these properties, let's look at the volume of a rectangular prism. I want to say that this length of a rectangular prism, we want to use L to denote the length, then W to denote the width, and H to denote our height, right? So the length of the area, no, sorry, let's talk about the volume. The volume of this rectangular prism will be given as the multiplication of the 3 dimensions, which is the length, width, and the what? The height. So the volume of the rectangular prism is length times width times what? Height. That's our volume. Now let's also talk about the area. For 3D shapes, we have total surface area, and we also have curved surface area. Let us talk about the total surface area. Surface area. And the acronym for the total surface area is TSE, total surface area. The total surface area of a rectangular prism is going to be given in a format of which you're going to consider all the faces of the rectangular prism. By looking at the faces, when I look at each of the faces of the rectangular prism, it is considered as a rectangle, right? But the area of a rectangle, area of rectangle is what? If I have a rectangle, probably length and height, and the area of this rectangle will be what? Length times what? Height, right? So each of these faces, each of the 6 faces is considered a rectangle. So to find the area of each of them, you're going to apply the area of the rectangle in doing so. Now let us consider this shape first, right? If you consider this face of the rectangular prism, the area of it, you're going to multiply W by what? H. Okay, so we're going to have WH. But how many of them do we have in that? Each of the faces, we have 2 similar faces in the rectangular prism, right? So we have WH plus this one, this and that, they are similar. It's also WH. Now, after considering these 2, you have to also consider this aspect, right? So considering this aspect, there are also 2 similar shapes here. We have this and also this one, okay? But here's the height and here's what? Length. So it's going to be LH, but there are 2. So another one, LH, right? LH. Now, having written that, we also have the last shape, the last face, which is this, okay? My base and my top, okay? So the base, I have the length and I have my what? I have my length and my width. In this place is the same as the width, right? So it's gonna be this and that. This face and that face, they're also similar. So it's gonna be length times what? Width, right? So length times width. But there are 2. Okay, this and that, they're the same. So plus another length times width. Now, we have like terms here. So we can decide to group like terms. WH plus WH, what do you have? We have 2WH. Then LH plus LH, we have what? 2LH. Again, LW plus LW, we have 2LW. Now, looking at these, we can do, some factorization. You could see that there is 2 common in all the terms, right? I can factorize 2 out so that we'll be having 2WH plus, 2 into bracket WH plus LH plus 1 W. Okay, so therefore my total surface area of a rectangular prism will be given as 2WH plus LH plus LW, right? So having gotten this total surface area, then we also have to talk about the curved surface area. Curved surface area, okay? And the acronym for the curved surface area is CSA. Now, considering the curved surface area, the curved surface area of the rectangular prism is when the base and the top is being removed, right? So when a base and a top is being removed, then what we're going to have is what? The curved surface area. But if we have 6 faces, right? If the top is removed, our face is reduced from 6 to what? 5. If the base 2 is removed, the face is reduced from 5 to what? 4. So you realize that if we have curved surface area of the rectangular prism, then our total number of faces is going to reduce from 6 to what? 4. So the curved surface area, looking at the total surface area, we have the area of the length being what? The base being LW and the top LW. So when we remove the LW for the base and LW for the top, then it means over here, our simplification, 2LW be what? Eliminated, right? So if 2LW is eliminated from this formula, then our curved surface area is going to be 2WH plus 2LH, right? Now given 2LH, we can also do some factorization. 2 is common in both. We have 2 bracket open WH plus 1 LH. So therefore, my curved surface area of a rectangular prism is 2 into bracket WH plus 1 LH, where the W stands for the width, H stands for the height, L stands for the length, and the A stands for what? The height. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel for more research.